Uganda's opposition leader Dr. Kizza Besigye was abducted in Kenya back in 2024 November, and right now as we speak is being charged for treason in a civilian court in Uganda after the Supreme Court of the country transferred his case from a military court to a civilian court. Treason is a capital case in Uganda, and if the man is convicted of the same, the 68-year-old Kizza Besigye will be sentenced to death. In this episode of World of Conflicts, I want us to walk through the journey of the conflict between the country's president, Yoweri Museveni, and the opposition leader, Dr. Kizza Besigye. The conflict between Kizza Besigye and Yoweri Museveni is one of the most significant political rivalries in Uganda's modern history. It spans over 2 decades and has been marked by political disputes, electoral battles, arrests, and accusations of authoritarianism. Kizza Besigye and Yoweri Museveni were once allies in the fight against former Ugandan leaders Idi Amin, Milton Obote, and Tito Okello. Besigye served as Museveni's personal doctor during the National Resistance Army guerrilla war between 1981 to 1986. When Museveni took power in 1986, Besigye was appointed to key government positions, including Minister of State Internal Affairs, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, and National Political Commissar. By the late 1990s, Besigye became increasingly critical of Museveni's leadership. He accused the government of corruption, human rights abuses, and abandoning democratic principles. In 1999, Besigye wrote a document outlining how Uganda was drifting toward dictatorship, angering Museveni. In response, he was forced into early retirement from the army in 2000. Besigye challenged Museveni for the first time in the 2001 elections as the candidate for the Reform Agenda opposition group. He lost with 27.7% of the vote, while Museveni won with 69.3%. Besigye rejected the election result, claiming widespread electoral fraud, intimidation, and vote rigging. After the election, he faced harassment and was accused of treason and eventually fled into exile in South Africa in 2001. Besigye returned to Uganda in 2005 and became the leader of the Forum for Democratic Change (FDC) party formed to challenge Museveni. He contested in the 2006 election against Museveni. Shortly before the elections, Besigye was arrested and charged with treason, rape and terrorism, charges he claimed were politically motivated. His arrest led to protest and international condemnation, but he was released on bail. Despite these obstacles, he still managed to get 37.4% of the vote, while Museveni won with 59.3%. The Supreme Court ruled that there were massive electoral irregularities, but upheld Museveni's victory. Besigye ran again in 2011 but lost to Museveni, who won with 68% of the vote compared to Besigye's 26%. After the election, Besigye led the walk-to-work protest opposing the high cost of living and government corruption. He was violently arrested multiple times, and in one instance, he was pepper sprayed at close range and dragged from his car by security forces. This act of brutality was widely condemned by human rights organizations. In 2016, Besigye ran again, but Museveni was declared the winner with 60.6% of the vote, while Besigye received 35.6%. Besigye declared himself the people's president, leading to accusations of treason. He was arrested, placed under house arrest for months, and accused of attempting to overthrow the government. Ahead of the 2021 election, Besigye chose not to run and instead supported opposition leader Robert Kyagulanyi, also known as Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine, like Besigye, faced intimidation, arrest, and election fraud allegations. Besigye continued to criticize Museveni's rule, calling it military dictatorship. Besigye has consistently accused Museveni of rigging elections, using security forces to intimidate opposition supporters, and manipulating the electoral processes. International observers, including the EU and US, have criticized Uganda's elections for lacking transparency. Besigye has been arrested over 50 times since he started opposing Museveni. He has faced charges of treason, inciting violence, and lawful assembly, of all of which he claims are politically motivated. Museveni's government has been accused of using excessive force against Besigye's supporters. Security forces have fired live bullets at protesters, arrested opposition leaders, and restricted political gatherings. Museveni has used the army, police, and intelligence services to suppress opposition movements. Besigye, despite facing intimidation, has remained a symbol of resistance against authoritarianism in Uganda. Besigye remains active in opposition politics, though he did not contest in the 2021 elections. Museveni, now in power for nearly 40 years, continues to tighten his grip on power. Besigye has hinted at supporting opposition alliances to remove Museveni through civil resistance rather than elections, which he sees as deeply flawed. Uganda's political future remains uncertain, with new opposition figures like Bobi Wine emerging, but Museveni still controlling key state institutions. This is the conclusion. The conflict between Kizza Besigye and Yoweri Museveni represents the struggle between authoritarianism and democracy in Uganda. While Besigye has faced a relentless suppression, his resilience has inspired many Ugandans seeking change. However, Museveni's continued hold on power suggests that the battle for Uganda's democracy is far from over. With the treason charges going on, with the treason case going on, we're just waiting to see the outcome, and we'll be sharing it once it's out. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and remember to share, follow, and subscribe.